Deep in the virtual Woldberry forest, sunlight dappled through the trees. A wounded man gasped for air, clearly exhausted. He cursed under his breath, frustrated. A group of players, some standing guard, others attending to a seated figure, were gathered in a clearing amidst the fallen bodies of their enemies. One worriedly questioned their leader about the continued absence of someone crucial. The leader, with long dark hair, contemplated the situation, a thoughtful, escaping their lips. A dark-haired woman silently ordered someone's death. A muscular man swung a large axe downwards, striking his target. The victim cried out in pain and shock as the blow landed. The attacker, a white-haired figure, moved with deadly speed. He finished his brutal attack with a swift, decisive strike. A group of men yelled, "Jae-hyun!" as they charged forward. The hooded figure, Jae-hyun, landed gracefully, radiating power. Someone urged the others to attack him together. With a burst of speed and glowing energy, Jae-hyun swiftly took down his attackers. He stood over the fallen men, asking if they really thought they stood a chance against him. A scarred, white-haired dude boasts his invincibility. He's revealed as Hyrkan, the hero slayer. Someone apologizes to him, blaming themselves for a disastrous ambush. Hyrkan refutes the blame. He offers a hand to his fallen comrade, urging him to rise. Someone called Jae-hyun twice. A hooded figure insisted they weren't to blame, shifting the fault to a pathetic loser. He angrily called someone a dumbass. A woman with sharp eyes looked on, seemingly amused. Another observed their touching friendship sarcastically. She questioned their sentimentality, coldly declaring that even united trash would amount to nothing. A group in white and blue cloaks walked determinedly through a forest. Sirei, the Queen of Thunder, smirks confidently. A cloaked figure mocks her relentless fighting spirit. Sirei glares, warning him to choose his words carefully. The cloaked man scoffs at the idea of regret, activating a device on his wrist. A surge of blue energy erupts, engulfing him. Wielding a glowing sword landed gracefully, a smug grin plastered across his face. He taunted his unseen opponent, calling them weak. A woman, enraged, ordered someone to kill him. The masked man laughed, mocking her command and boasting of his invincibility. Suddenly, his cocky expression shifted to one of surprise. A shadowed group looked on, shocked. A masked figure coughed up blood, a blade protruding from their chest. System warnings flashed, HP rapidly decreasing, movement restricted. The wounded fighter gasped, questioning the betrayal. The attacker, looking somber, apologized to Jae-hyun, claiming he was just trying to survive. Jae-hyun, shocked and bleeding, could only manage a disbelieving, "What?" He laughed weakly, the situation bleak. Woman cackled maniacally, looking down at someone. She mocked the fallen person for being naive and believing in friendship when money's on the line. Addressing the defeated figure, Hyrkan, she vowed to eliminate him from the game. With a cruel smirk, she promised to repeatedly kill him upon every login to prevent any progress. The dude taunted his opponent, reminding him of his gamer status and supposed worthlessness. A woman with dark hair mocked him cruelly, a manic grin spreading across her face. He grabbed a handful of dirt, seething. He lunged, furious, yelling at her to shut up. A splash of red erupted as violence exploded between them. A man is wounded, blood splattering as he looks up in shock. A dark-haired woman gasps, "Oh my!" The white-haired man collapses into the arms of another, seemingly thanking everyone. He cries out, questioning their betrayal. Devastated, he reminds them of his sacrifices for their guild. Someone named Jae-hyun, with reddish hair and an angry expression, tells him to just die already. The betrayed man, now bleeding from the mouth, asks how they could do this for money. He desperately questions if they know how much he'd done for them. A bloodied man cries out, betrayed. A woman smirks, seemingly unmoved by his plea. A scarred man grins menacingly. Darkness consumes the scene. Red alerts flash. Died! And warning fill the screen. A game over message appears, a 48-hour lockout penalty imposed. Someone gasps, emerging from a VR pod. A distressed face fills the panel, lamenting a devastating loss. Warlord, a wildly popular VR game, explodes onto the scene, showering players with unimaginable wealth. The protagonist finds solace and skill in this virtual world, a stark contrast to his bleak reality. Battling a monstrous creature in-game, his prowess catches the eye of another player. Impressed, the new player eagerly proposes forming a guild, offering a sense of belonging in the virtual realm. This digital haven becomes the protagonist's only refuge. He muttered, "I forgive them," his voice dripping with a chillingly false sincerity. He ripped off his dark cloak with a sudden, violent movement. Driven by rage, he vowed vengeance, determined to hunt down and kill those who'd wronged him. Furious, he questioned the point of his past struggles if they only led to this. His phone rang, displaying Dong-su calling, but he ignored it, consumed by bitterness. He sped away in his car, tires screeching against the asphalt. The blonde-haired man wept, devastated by a betrayal he hadn't foreseen. He regretted his past indifference as a loud crash echoed. A horrifying scene unfolded. Someone was hit. Lying bleeding in the street, the victim cursed his luck. He desperately tried to call for help, but the line was dead. Weakening, he realized this might be the end. With his last breath, he thought of the one who betrayed him. A desperate, bloodied figure pleaded for death. Driven by a burning need for vengeance, another vowed to take revenge on those who wronged them. A surge of power erupted, a connection forming. User verification granted access to someone named Hyrkan. A young man, seemingly surprised, appeared on the screen. A tutorial quest objective flashed, demanding survival against a minotaur. A stunned character wondered if this warlord was real. Another guy, seemingly a newbie, was snapped out of his daze by a more experienced teammate. Two fighters urged him to focus on the monstrous threat before them, realizing they needed to work together. The minotaur roared, a terrifying display of power. The fighters assessed they couldn't solo this beast. One prepared to tank the minotaur's attack, buying time for the others. The dude seemed confused about the minotaur boss, thinking it was removed years ago. Someone corrected him, saying Warlord was released just 10 months ago. He realized his mistake, a look of dawning comprehension on his face. Other guys looked bewildered by his confusion. The leader started giving orders, but the white-haired guy suddenly walked off, leaving everyone stunned. He walked away with a determined stride, ignoring the shouts behind him. Two figures, swords drawn, shout in disbelief at a hooded figure rushing towards them. The hooded figure, white-haired and determined, dashes past them. A monstrous horned being with glowing red eyes roars a death threat. The white-haired figure, now facing the monster, eyes blazing blue, prepares to strike. A flash of bright energy erupts from the white-haired figure. He unleashed a devastating blow, cutting through a monstrous creature. The monster crashed down, defeated. Two onlookers, stunned, could hardly believe he took it down in one hit. A bloodied, white-haired figure was approached and complimented on their talent. Impressed, someone extended a hand and offered the figure a place in their guild. The Isao figure declined, stating they'd already made up their mind. Curious, onlookers questioned what this decision could be. The white-haired figure bent, picking something up, as others looked on, intrigued. Two figures react with surprise and anticipation to an unseen action. A bloodied, white-haired figure grits his teeth in pain and fury. He vows, with chilling certainty, never to trust again, or he'll be a dog. The guy casually adjusted his futuristic helmet, a smirk playing on his lips. He jolted awake, eyes wide with confusion, and wondered where he was. A bustling, futuristic space buzzed with activity. A young man in a dark hoodie and unusual helmet casually reclined in a sleek, pod-like vehicle. The surrounding crowd seemed oblivious to his unconventional entrance. The guy with the futuristic helmet looked shocked, a bead of sweat trickling down his face. Eyes wide with shock, the dark-haired man wondered if he'd actually traveled through. Time if so, I'd something clanks ominously. A futuristic helmet seems to be activating. Someone dashed through a crowd. With a determined look, the dark-haired guy sprinted forward, urgency etched on his face. He pushed through the air, leaving blurry streaks in his wake. He picked up speed, practically flying through the frame. The world blurred into a frenzy of motion as he ran even faster. The dark-haired man declared he possessed 5 years' worth of future knowledge as he took a step forward. The woman in the light blue uniform stopped, a look of realization dawning on her face. She took a decisive step forward, a thought forming. If I use them right, her mind raced, calculating possibilities. With wide eyes and a determined yell, the guy thrusts a Joabank card forward. He slumped over, seemingly defeated, while she calmly replied, "Oh, of course," holding something small in her gloved hand. He let out a defeated chuckle, pointing at the object she held. The dark-haired man, breathing heavily and sweating, looked up with a determined, almost desperate expression and began to speak. He addressed someone as "Sir," his voice strained with urgency. The uniformed woman informed the dark-haired man about his funds. Guy looked stunned, eyes wide with disbelief. A sinister grin spread across his face as he hushed, a drop of sweat trickling down his cheek. The dude slammed his head onto a metal cylinder, clearly frustrated, as a uniformed woman gestured excitedly nearby. He grumbled that he wouldn't be in this place if he had the money. The guy looked shocked, clutching his head, sweat beading on his brow as he wondered if he should start making some serious cash. His eyes widened, a flicker of shock crossing his face as he flinched. A lone figure stood, seemingly hesitant, in a futuristic, blue-lit room, the caption emphasizing that hesitation is a dangerous luxury in battle. A powerful voice echoed, urging her to become a warlord. Feathers drifted down around the dark-haired woman as she looked up, a determined glint in her bright blue eyes. A bold message appears. Start now. Play warlord. A fearsome dragon's head fills a screen, bathed in an eerie blue light, seemingly ready for battle. He stood, back to us, gazing at a massive glowing blue screen displaying the word Warlord. The atmosphere was heavy with anticipation. Man paused, a thoughtful silence hanging in the air. With a cruel smirk, the person in the shadowed panel taunted someone, calling them trash and implying they've fallen from grace. With a steely gaze and clenched fists, the dark-haired guy moved with determined purpose. The sun sets over a familiar brick building, casting a warm glow. A loud rumble echoes from below. A futuristic-looking structure hummed with a low, ominous doo-dun. The technician, leaving the apartment, confirmed the installation was complete and ready. He was about to leave when the other guy, holding a small, glowing object, simply nodded. He clenched something small and gold in his hand, a grim determination etched on his face, thinking this was the only way he could get money. Someone is holding a brightly colored business card advertising D-Day loans. It seems to be geared towards gamers, specifically Warlord gamers, with available loans and enticing, or perhaps concerningly high, interest rates. Someone held a business card with loan information, looking puzzled, and wondered aloud if that was it. He was offered a staggering 10 million won. The hooded figure seemed pensive, while the other guy looked amused. Across a table, a figure in a darker suit slides something small and rectangular, maybe a card or check, to another person, smoothly assuring them of a happy loan. With a sly smirk, the man in red adds a but, making the other person across the table curious. Door slams shut with a dramatic echoing slam. A hand slams down hard on a lottery ticket. Everything goes dark. With a menacing grin, the man leaned in, his threat hanging heavy in the air. If you can't pay us back, with a determined press, he activated something important. A dark, ominous threat hangs in the air. Life's gonna get real tough for you. The guy's jaw tightens, a bead of sweat trickling down his face, clearly unnerved by the warning. Someone clutched a handful of yellow talismans, their grip tightening. With a swift whip, the guy adjusted his helmet, a serious look on his face. Someone's feet tapped impatiently as a connecting ballet message blinked on a futuristic screen. Driven by dark intent, the person muttered about crushing their enemies. With a sinister glint in her eyes and a twisted smirk, the woman thought, bastards' faces, as she looked down on two figures before her. With a futuristic helmet, aglow, the man roared, his eyes blazing with intense power. Confirmed. Streaks of light flash across the sky. User Hyrkan has entered the scene. A digital message welcomes the silver-haired guy back to Warlord. He stands before a leaning tower, radiating power. He looks stoic, ready for what awaits. A figure, bathed in electric blue energy, materialized, a subtle smirk playing on his lips. Amidst crackling energy, the white-haired guy decided it was her time. Someone is impatiently waiting for a girl to appear. They're trying to remember her name, wondering if it's Ari. Suddenly, a congratulatory message pops up. The tutorial has been cleared. A powerful golden aura enveloped the blonde woman, her eyes closed in serene concentration as crackling energy swirled around her. A mysterious figure, wreathed in golden light and a dark cloak, descends, introducing herself as Ariadne, the guide for class selection. A mysterious blonde woman, adorned with glowing jewelry, emanated an otherworldly aura, a slight smile playing on her lips. Golden energy crackled around someone's outstretched hand, a strange symbol forming in their palm. A powerful, glowing being informs the white-haired man he must choose his basic class. A dark figure, radiating power, stood before another, the air thick with anticipation. Suddenly, a blinding flash erupted, illuminating the scene and highlighting the intricate details of their attire. The light subsided, leaving behind a faint shimmer and an undeniable sense of something significant having just occurred. A mystical, glowing energy swirls, and a voice declares 3 options are now available. A shimmering, golden light flares, revealing crucial information. The skills honed in basic class will determine one's advanced class later on. A warrior emerges, bathed in golden light. A glowing figure, seemingly mid-leap, is described as a frontline melee fighter built for intense combat. The narration suggests this class is perfect for those who crave action-packed battles. The guy seemed surprised. A warrior? He smirked, a plan forming. I've played this before, easy level up. The guy pondered, realizing going solo would get tough later. He decided to pass on something, a golden glow surrounding him. Bathed in golden light, a priest prayed fervently, a powerful aura emanating from him. A powerful support class was offered, brimming with healing and buffing potential. He swiftly rejected it, refusing to waste his time supporting others. The spiky-haired guy looked skeptical as the blonde woman gently held a glowing orb, mentioning something about others. With a subtle smile and glowing hands, the blonde woman seemed to be channeling some kind of energy. Golden energy crackled, someone's hand reaching out. A surge of power bursts forth from their fingertips. The silver-haired guy reacted to something. With wide gold eyes, a powerful energy swirling around him. The white-haired guy started to glitch out, a cascade of bright blue pixels falling from him. Books tumbled around him, seemingly dislodged by some unseen force. He faded, becoming more ethereal, as if dissolving into data streams. A wizened old man, holding a staff topped with a glowing blue crystal, stroked his long beard thoughtfully, a mystical air surrounding him. The white-haired man stood expectantly as the older, robed figure gestured, offering him a chance to ask about dark magic. The white-haired guy seemed puzzled, looking up at something in a dimly lit library. Someone gasped, asking the old mage if he meant arc magic. The mage, holding a crystal staff, chuckled, clearly delighted. The white-haired guy with a smirk clarified something intensely. No, I said dark magic. The old man with a long beard spoke gravely about dark magic, its potent nature, but at a terrible cost. The silver-haired guy smirked, a predatory glint in his eyes. He's shaking, clearly in disbelief about something. He struggles to accept it, but reluctantly admits he has to. A monstrous figure, bathed in an eerie purple light, declares they can jump right in. With a sinister grin and glowing purple aura, the figure rips something exactly what they wanted. A skeletal figure draped in robes, gripped a staff topped, with a glowing blue gem, and a bright flash of light erupted. With a serious expression and ominous purple energy swirling around him, the white-haired man challenges someone, questioning their readiness. A worn, ancient-looking book pulsed with dark energy. A voice commanded someone to place their hand on the skill book. A cryptic warning hangs in the air. But be warned! The guy with light hair offers a serious, almost ominous look. Something big is about to happen. A voice warns that the path ahead is dangerous. Not for the weak. A hand slammed down, cracking the icy surface with a bam! The white-haired guy flashed a sly, knowing smirk, dark energy swirling around him amidst a backdrop of ancient books. Someone's about to pass out. A monstrous, shadowy figure crackles with purple energy. Amidst a crackling purple energy, a figure lets out a sinister, echoing laugh. The white-haired man below seems intensely focused, a strange energy swirling around him. A figure, wreathed in violet energy, smirked as something, or someone, interesting finally arrived. Her piercing blue eyes flared with power as a shockwave erupted, shaking everything. A deep, resonating wah filled the air. A cloaked, skeletal figure with glowing eyes emanates a menacing purple aura and hisses. A lone figure descended from the sky, trailing purple energy, towards a legion of glowing-eyed skeletons. The skeletal army watched, a silent menace radiating from their ranks. A deep, rumbling doom echoed around them. With a determined glare, the silver-haired guy unleashed a surge of vibrant, crackling energy. A whoosh from his outstretched hand. He clenched his fist, crackling with blue and purple energy. Boom! He's a necromancer now. Ding! His title? Clueless Necromancer. Ding! He just got the bone shard skill. A sinister grin spread across his face as dark energy crackled around him. He summoned a spectral, glowing blue skull, crackling with power, held in his outstretched hand. A large, dark shape loomed overhead. The white-haired guy appeared, radiating a mysterious blue energy. He reached out his hand, focused and ready. With a surge of blue energy, someone's legs land heavily, causing a shockwave. A skeletal warrior, crackling with blue energy, appeared with a whoosh. A confident smirk played on the guy's lips as spectral, glowing blue energy crackled around his outstretched hand. This time, he seemed determined. A menacing, skeletal figure, wreathed in blazing blue flames, emanated an aura of raw power. The silver-haired guy smirked, thinking the training dungeon should be easy. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed, and something unexpected happened. A chilling sound echoed. A skeleton, adorned with a glowing gem, materialized in a library, startling the silver-haired figure. A white-haired guy stared down at a skeleton surrounded by a mountain of books. The skeleton seemed to be saying something, but the speech bubble was empty, adding to the mystery. He seemed pensive, observing the strange scene. A swirling blue portal materialized, crackling with energy. A white-haired figure stepped through, entering a beginner training dungeon. Confused, he noticed a strange, not-so-menacing skeleton. He opened his skill window, finding his skeleton fragment proficiency was an abysmal F. Realizing his weakness, he decided he needed to level up fast. Suddenly, something, or someone, appeared, seemingly at the perfect moment. Menacing Cole. Wolves growl, ready for a fight. A white-haired dude smirks, about to summon something. He calls upon a skeleton fragment, a creepy blue energy swirling around his hand. With a command, he unleashes the skeleton warrior, crackling with blue flames. The skeleton warrior senses the wolves and gets ready to rumble. A glowing-eyed skeleton roared with power, pleased with his performance. Dark wolves, eyes blazing red, crept towards their prey. The white-haired dude, with a sinister smirk, ordered the skeleton to attack. The skeletal warrior charged, a blur of bone and blue energy. Impressed, the dude thought he'd reach max level soon. The wolves lunged, a snarling mass of teeth and fur. Time, the man muttered, as the skeleton shattered. The man watched calmly as the skeletal warrior lay broken on the ground. A glowing shard materialized, landing with a soft thud. A skull, eerily lit from within, formed from the shard. The white-haired guy reacted with shock and confusion. Panicked, he yelled for his skill window. He scanned the description of the skeleton fragment skill, realizing he hadn't set a mode for his new bony companion. He quickly selected defense mode for the skeletal minion. A bright, eerie light pulsed from a skull. Two shadowy wolf-like creatures faced off, snarling. A gray-haired guy watched, realizing something terrifying. His face flushed with fear as he muttered about a special action mode. A skeleton warrior started dancing wildly, surrounded by the dark creatures. The gray-haired guy was absolutely terrified, realizing he was in deep trouble. A frustrated gamer slams his keyboard, lamenting his stuck character and impending loan payments. He wishes for another car accident, recalling a previous life. Things seem to be looking up, but his skeletal minion is being unhelpful. Annoyed, he tries to control the restless, bony companion, remembering a necromancer from his past life. The minion's sudden question catches him off guard. A game interface revealed that a summoned skeleton minion learns from combat. The white-haired dude realized his minion was observing him fight coal wolves. He smugly told the skeleton it was lucky to have such a skilled master. The skeleton minion looked up at him. The guy bragged about being a genius and coaching his guild to top rank. A skeletal figure gives some cryptic combat advice. Don't dodge, you're dead. A determined, glowing-eyed man unleashes a powerful punch. The impact sends the skeletal figure flying back with a crash. Again! The skeleton demands, scrambling back up. Another bone-jarring blow lands, sending him sprawling once more. Undeterred, the skeleton cries, "Again!" bracing for another round. A white-haired fighter gets struck hard, sending him reeling. His mentor yells advice, "Dodge and counterattack, don't just stand there." The fighter acknowledges with a determined, "Got it." The skeletal figure lowers its weapon, seemingly ready for the next move. The tension thickens as the scene fades to black, leaving the outcome unknown. A ferocious beast growled, lunging at a figure holding a weapon. The creature bared its teeth, its eyes glowing menacingly as it attacked. A skeletal warrior deflected the blow, a spectral energy flaring around him. The beast was knocked back, whimpering as it hit the ground. A white-haired man watched the fight calmly. The little skeleton warrior looked up at him, sparkling with pride. The man scolded the little skeleton for getting distracted. A confident smirk flashed across his face as he heard, "Your last move wasn't bad." Golden light enveloped him, and a skeleton, their proficiency increasing. "You pass," a voice boomed, and the white-haired dude leveled up. He found himself in a bustling town square with recruitment calls echoing, guilds seeking family-like members, and raid parties forming. Overhearing the chatter, he thought, the skeleton training paid off. Determined, he mused, with more grinding, I'll solo the whole dungeon. His journey's just beginning. He sets a new goal. First, level 10. He pulls his hood up, a shadow of anticipation in his eyes. The white-haired guy called out to someone. A large man aggressively confronted him, demanding an apology for a bump. The white-haired guy, unimpressed, sized up the large man and his cronies, thinking they looked weak. He sighed, seemingly bored, which further annoyed the tough guys. One of them yelled at him for sighing, the tension rising. The white-haired guy remained calm, but the scene crackled with unspoken threat. Suddenly, the tense silence was broken by a violent outburst. A blonde dude, seemingly unfazed, was told he shouldn't go around hitting people. Two men confronted. A blonde guy and a hooded figure, demanding to know who they were and if they were together. The blonde one replied that it wasn't exactly like that. Suddenly, someone recognized the hooded figure with a shocked expression. A tense moment hung in the air as a muscular Hawaiian shirt-clad dude stopped another man's attack. The bewildered victim demanded to know who the newcomer was and if he was with the attacker. The laid-back intervener denied any connection. The hooded figure seemed to recognize the intervening dude, his eyes widening in surprise as he took in his impressive physique. The hooded figure also noted with some amusement the newcomer's, shall we say, unique fashion sense. The white-haired guy recognized someone, a top-ranked warrior from his past life, Mathador Shev. He's shocked to see him there. Suddenly, Shev lets out a yell. Shev kicks something hard, clicking his weapon in the process. Another guy warns a bystander to stay back, but the bystander insists Shev hit him first. Shev just laughs, seemingly amused by the situation. A powerful aura explodes around a confident figure. He seems to be accepting a challenge. Another dude grins wickedly, thinking he'll return the favor. Suddenly, a hooded figure emanates, menacing energy. Someone cries out in alarm, revealing the newcomer's fearsome identity. Mathador Shev, leader of the Red Bulls, a top guild. A fearsome horned warrior, radiating fiery energy, is revealed to be the notorious Matador Shev. A surprised guy on the phone questions why such a powerful figure would be so compliant. Shev leans in close to a sweating, nervous dude, demanding a response. The nervous guy blurts out an apology, trembling with fear. He bows deeply, repeating his apologies. Shev, now grinning, expresses relief that the situation was resolved peacefully with words, as onlookers watch in stunned silence. A blonde guy, sword on his back, checks on a dark-haired dude who looks shaken. Someone tries to intervene, telling the blonde to leave him be. The dark-haired guy abruptly tells the blonde he doesn't need help anymore. Confused, the blonde guy watches him walk off. He thinks the dude is cold, then remembers a moment when he felt intimidated by the dark-haired guy's power, clenching his fist. The white-haired guy, face tight with determination, vowed to be a completely changed person next time they met. A flickering torch illuminated a dark, rocky cavern. Another torch burned higher, revealing more of the desolate space. Deep within the cavern, a figure contemplated the stark difference in power between himself and someone else. He realized that two other individuals, Shiru and Chev, were evenly matched in skill. Clenching his fist, the figure declared he needed to get stronger to take revenge, a fiery aura erupting around him. A fiery coal tiger roared, facing a hooded figure. The skeleton warrior unleashed a blinding blue attack on the beast. The tiger was struck, and dust filled the air. A notification flashed. Skeleton warrior hunted the coal tiger. Level up! The skeleton glowed, its eye sockets blazing brighter. Now tiny and holding a staff, the skeleton looked up at the hooded figure. The hooded figure mused that reaching level 10 took longer than expected. He looked questioningly at the small skeleton warrior. The blonde-haired dude reached level 10. He got a notification that he cleared the training dungeon, and his beginner symbol was gone. Rewards transferred, and he finally received a war watch, seemingly pleased. He He realized it gave him access to stats, quests, maps, inventory, and messenger, classic game features. He hadn't felt this excited in a while and checked his status window. As a level 10 necromancer, his strength, stamina, intelligence, and mana were renewed. He then got a prompt to spend his remaining stat points. A determined-looking guy pondered his first stat allocation, deciding to be wise. Necromancers typically boost mana or intelligence, but he chose differently. With a confident smirk, he put all his points into strength. A golden aura flared as his strength surged by 50. He examined his hand, a small, satisfied escaping, his lips followed by a close-up of a grinning, glowing-eyed skull. A white-haired guy questioned a sniffling skeleton. The skeleton declared he hadn't given up on necromancy. The guy insisted he was trying to teach the skeleton. He explained, boosting mana and intelligence wouldn't help much, but strength training would. He promised to teach the skeleton all his peak-level skills. He's betting everything on the skeleton's growth. He urged the skeleton to focus on training, because other stats can be improved later. Finally, the scene shifted to a building. Labeled Raiders Association. A brand new quest appears. Someone grabs it, eager and impatient. Others clamor for quests too, though they're warned the current batch isn't great. A hooded figure requests to see the quest list anyway. The quest giver agrees, but cautions about the difficulty, revealing nobody wants these tasks. The hooded figure, seemingly confident, thinks to himself that they indeed look crappy, but with a mysterious air of anticipation implies that's exactly what he's looking for. The white-haired dude, with a sly grin, reveals his hidden card. He finds a quest to eliminate monsters at Bima Mountain. An older, bearded guy questions the low reward of only 10 gold. The white-haired guy accepts the quest anyway. He explains that completing this seemingly boring quest before level 15 unlocks a super rare title, Prospect. He teases the reader, hinting at the title's hidden power. Earning titles boosts your stats. The Prospect title is especially powerful, giving percentage increases. This guy realizes it'll make him super strong, fast. He's decided to start his power-up journey by getting new gear. He sets off with a determined stride. He's headed to Bima Mountain. The white-haired dude looked annoyed. Suddenly, he appeared, in a ridiculous bright outfit with paw-like boots. He landed awkwardly in a forest clearing. Grimacing, he face-palmed hard, cursing under his breath. Looking at his purchase menu, he realized he was broke after buying skeleton equipment and settled for cheap, embarrassing armor. Determined, he decided to speedrun a quest to earn money for better clothes. Someone promised to do something quickly. A figure dashed through a forest path. The scene shifted to an unsettling silence. A bloody hand reached out desperately. A wounded person cried for help. His pleas grew more desperate. Two sinister figures emerged from the darkness, grinning menacingly. Multi, clad in armor, confidently declares his adventure at Bima Mountain has begun. Another armored figure, cocky and pleased, thinks he's pretty good at this whole adventuring thing. Suddenly, desperate cries for help pierce the air. He spots two figures, one injured, the other frantically pleading for aid. Startled, the armored dude rushes to the scene. The panicked survivor explains they were attacked by a terrifying new monster and barely escaped, but they're out of healing potions. A man offered something, telling another to wait. The recipient expressed deep gratitude, promising to repay the favor. Driven by this promise, a powerful figure unleashed a devastating attack. Another character, possibly injured, coughed weakly, then thanked someone. Two others vowed to make full use of the items they'd received, clearly pleased. A betrayed player lies defeated, cursing his attacker. A smug, silver-haired character mocks him, relishing the victory. A game notification flashes. Multi is dead. His watch clatters to the ground. A burly figure laughs with his companions, boasting about pranking newbies. He asks them if they saw the newbies' reaction. The group prepares to move on. A maniacally grinning figure declares it's time to hunt down their next victim. Two beasts growl menacingly in a darkened forest, a skeletal warrior standing guard behind them. The beasts lunge, red eyes blazing at the skeletal figure. A different character, with spiky gray hair, points, activating attack mode. A skeleton warrior, armed with a sword, effortlessly cuts down a pack of wolves. Experience points pop up, confirming each kill. Watching the carnage, someone remarks that wolves are nothing to the skeleton now that it has a sword. They agree, pleased with their decision to prioritize equipping the skeleton first. This person, revealed to be a white-haired guy, proudly declares himself a true gamer, valuing utility over looks. A giant skeleton watched a smaller one sadly. Someone asked the little skeleton what he was thinking. He snapped out of it and was told to follow. The pink-clad figure explained they needed to level up to clear the area. The little skeleton dashed off. Suddenly, an arrow whizzed past him. The archer yelled an apology. Someone mistook a figure for a monster in the distance. The gray-haired person apologized profusely, but the other person brushed it off. A sudden shift in focus, and we see a bloody weapon embedded in someone's back. The view changes again, and a surprised voice draws attention to a bizarre duo, a cheerful person, with a skeleton companion. The person who was attacked earlier demands a mana potion as compensation. The attackers, lacking potions, offer to help the victim level up instead to replenish mana. Someone asks if something's okay, and the silver-haired person enthusiastically agrees, admitting their fault. A menacing growl erupts. Suddenly monsters appear. Conveniently, it seems. A muscular dude tells the others he'll weaken the monsters, they just need to finish them off. The silver-haired person confirms they understand. Two figures with sinister grins exchange a knowing, yup. A warrior grabs a monster's attention. A cunning mage casts an attack buff, slyly aiming it towards an unsuspecting teammate. The monster lunges at the now buffed teammate. The teammate screams in terror. The mage's crew watch with dark amusement. They breathe a sigh of relief. The white-haired dude with the bunny ears and the skeleton warrior calmly observe the downed monster. Everyone seems confused. The white-haired dude, giving a thumbs up, cheered on his skeletal companion. Someone observing the battle was shocked by the skeleton's strength. They wondered if the summoner's level was higher than it appeared. Deciding to overwhelm him, they ordered multiple monsters released. The summoner, now surrounded, cried out. As he fought off the beasts, a dark figure prepared a sneak attack. With a sinister grin, the attacker lunged, weapon raised high. A shocked face shouts, "What?" as someone dodges a blow. The white-haired guy narrowly avoids the attack, a whoosh of motion around him. A bearded man yells mid-swing, blood spraying. A stunned onlooker gasps, What? As they witness something unbelievable. The word skeleton appears, ominous and foreboding. A skeletal hand, glowing with eerie blue energy, reaches out. A terrifying blue-flamed skull materializes, its eye sockets blazing. A skeletal figure lunged, its glowing blade aimed at two figures. One of the figures screamed, recoiling in fear as the skeleton attacked. He tried to reason, suggesting they talk, but the attack continued relentlessly. The skeleton struck, sending the two flying. The white-haired attacker landed, surveying the scene and his fallen foes, uttering harsh words about their betrayal. He walked away, leaving them behind. The attacker calmly told their victim that their tricks wouldn't work anymore. The terrified victim, bleeding, offered items, desperately begging for mercy. The attacker coldly refused. Raising a glowing blade, the attacker struck, declaring their distrust for everyone. A system message flashed. Player Ralph has died. 8 watches dropped. The cloaked figure watching was shocked, muttering that the attacker was insane. A cunning character with white hair and distinct attire decides to take advantage of a situation, eyeing some clothes. He swiftly kicks a downed figure. A glowing skeleton with eerie blue eyes appears, looming over the scene. The white-haired character offers the skeleton a share of the spoils. A skeletal figure crackled with turquoise energy as it formed. He raised a glowing sword, proclaiming, "There we go!" as he landed heavily. Someone asked the skeleton if he liked it that much. The hooded dude stated looks don't matter in games. It's what's inside that counts. He then took off running with renewed purpose. He leaves a trail of dust and a large question mark hangs in the air. The hooded figure grinned, showing off their loot of war watches to a skeletal companion. Selling the watches promised a random drop of items from the defeated players' inventories. A dissolving war watch glitched, potentially offering rare items, skill books, or even money. Black goblin pants, a sword pulsating with ancient energy, and a cursed grimoire materialized, demonstrating the range of possible rewards. The hooded figure laughed triumphantly, surrounded by showering gold coins, thrilled with the unexpected. Jackpot. Finally, they held up a shimmering blue crystal, pleased to have acquired it faster than anticipated, a strange mask-like object appearing beneath it. The white-haired dude decided to start recording his gameplay. He stressed to someone that creating a distinct online identity was crucial. He pitched the idea of everyone in their guild wearing a traditional Ha-Ho mask to go viral. They agreed on the guild name Ha-Ho Mask. The dude then revealed he'd considered other identities, but ultimately chose the mask. A powerful blue energy suddenly crackled around the mask in his hands as he vowed to use its power, implying a past theft had motivated his choice. Driven by a need to prove himself, the white-haired guy with glowing red eyes and a mask tells his skeletal companion to move. They magically teleport, swirling in vibrant blue energy. Suddenly, they land in a rocky, mountainous area with towering stone structures. Now inside the ominous evil mountain cave dungeon, the masked man pushes forward, expecting to encounter blue werewolves. Confident with his upgraded gear, the masked dude declared the tough dungeon doable, aiming for a speedy 10-minute clear. He dashed in, his skeletal companion close behind. Hours flew by, amidst a serene, flowery backdrop, shockingly peaceful. The masked man, now bewildered, wondered where all the monsters were. Confused and frustrated, he questioned if it was a bug. He slumped against a rock, exasperated, as his skeletal buddy looked on, only to be startled by a sudden voice demanding to know what he was doing. The scarred dude's eyes widened. Something was off. He and a skeletal figure looked down at a swirling purple light on the ground. The light exploded outwards, engulfing them. A system message popped up. They'd found a hidden instant dungeon. Turns out these random dungeons shut down the regular ones until cleared. They're tougher, but the rewards are double. The final panel zoomed in on the dude's sweating face, foreshadowing trouble. The hooded figure with white hair was given a deadly ultimatum. Conquer the dungeon or face death. He weighed his options, knowing death meant 2 days of downtime from the game and maybe other quests were a better use of his time. But, determined, he pressed on. A flash of purple light engulfed him as he entered the stage. He landed, his skeletal companion at his side, in a vast, crumbling coliseum. A little freaked out, he wondered what awaited him. A masked figure strained, muttering, "Out!" as something huge loomed. A monstrous three-eyed werewolf roared, filling the space with its terrifying presence. The creature, identified as a corrupted werewolf, lunged, its power level unknown. The masked figure reacted, shocked by the werewolf's corrupted status, wondering why such a beast was in this specific location. The werewolf attacked with savage fury, while the masked figure and a skeletal companion desperately dodged its blows. A masked figure yells in excitement, seemingly thrilled about something. He spots a skeleton monster and thinks to himself how lucky he is that corrupted monsters are part of the main quest. The skeleton growls. The masked man scoffs, amused by the skeleton's reaction. Bursting through a wall, he taunts the bony creature, warning it of impending doom. With a sinister grin, the white-haired dude declares, "No dinner today." He kicks off a chaotic fight, sending a sword flying. A skeletal figure materializes, glowing eyes fixed on the target. The white-haired guy dodges the skeleton's attack. Suddenly, he's airborne, a bright light engulfing him. He plummets back down, landing hard. A monstrous, fanged creature roars. Inflict curse. A figure gripped a glowing purple blade. Demon's curse was unleashed. Dark energy swirled, transforming the figure. A terrifying beast emerged, roaring fiercely. His opponent braced himself as the monster attacked. The demon's curse weakened the target. A monstrous creature roared, consumed by a dark curse, but the lone figure facing it seemed unimpressed. The beast transformed, growing larger and fiercer with a surge of red energy. A system message flashed, announcing the werewolf's enraged, stayed and nullified effects, catching the figure's attention. He mused that the challenge wasn't as easy as expected. With a sly grin, the figure revealed he'd been holding back. He activated a device on his wrist. A surge of teal energy crackled around the white-haired figure. The energy intensified, swirling around him like a vortex. It coalesced, forming a shadowy, spectral armor around him. With a determined grin, he declared he was ready for action. "Slot on!" A unique Warlord feature was activated. A glowing device on a wrist surged, with power. A generic figure bathed in light manifested a boosted form. This boosted form varied wildly, showing a demonic warrior, and then a powerful woman. Finally, a cloaked figure with glowing blue energy emerged, entering ultimate mode. The white-haired guy with the glowing mask taunted his opponent, ready for a fight. A monstrous creature roared, its fangs bared in a terrifying display. The hero dodged a swift, brutal attack from the beast. The monster lunged again, claws extended, but the hero parried the blow. With a final, powerful strike, the hero shattered the ground beneath the monster's feet. The white-haired warrior braced himself against a powerful attack. The monster's speed and power were overwhelming. He realized even 3 hits would be game over, but a surge of blue energy erupted around him, hinting at a counter-offensive. He unleashed a fierce power, preparing to fight back. A dark figure, wreathed in shadowy energy, lunged with a glowing blade. The white-haired character seemed amused, finding the fight exhilarating. Suddenly, the enemy transformed, startling him. He realized with a sigh he'd forgotten about its enraged state. A massive, monstrous form emerged from the shadows, radiating a dark aura. The white-haired guy prepared to face the monster, his expression resolute. Then, a voice called out, interrupting the impending clash. A masked figure taunted their seemingly defeated opponent. Suddenly, a glowing skeletal warrior appeared, ready for action. The white-haired character urged the skeleton to execute a practiced move. A ferocious, 3-eyed wolf-like creature emerged, radiating power. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment and like. See you in next chapters.